My name is Lily, and this is how I learned that being poor is actually not as bad as I thought it was. My family have never had a lot of money, and when my dad left, it meant that my mom had to support me and my twin brothers herself. She works in a factory, so it's been pretty difficult to make ends meet, and I spend a lot of time looking after my brothers when my mom is working late. Even though we don't have a lot of money, I couldn't ask for a better mom. She would do anything for us. She always plays games with us, bakes us cakes, and tucks us in at night. A lot of my friends' parents buy them loads of expensive things, but then never spend any time with them. So I'm glad my mom treats us like we're the most important things in the world. I was quite clever, so I got a scholarship to go to an expensive high school for free. I loved it there, apart from the fact that everybody came from really rich families. They all had the latest phone, designer clothes, and had second houses abroad. But luckily, as we had to wear a uniform, no one realized that I usually just wore my mom's old clothes, or that we didn't have a car, or couldn't always afford to pay for heating. Whenever anyone asked for my number, I just said, "Oh, sorry, I'm currently doing a digital detox." And they would smile and be like, "Oh yeah, that's totally trendy right now." I felt bad lying. But it was better than them knowing the truth, that I was just poor. I quickly made a best friend, Sasha, and I went over to her house a few times. It was huge, with a big garden and an indoor pool. We would go horse riding, or try on her mom's pretty dresses, or be taken out for dinner by her parents. Sasha kept asking me if she could come round to my house. I tried to put her off, saying that my brothers were too naughty or that my mom was away. I was worried that she would see the overgrown garden, peeling wallpaper, and creaky floorboards and run a mile. But eventually, I realized that if I didn't invite her over, she might give up on being my friend, so I finally agreed. As we walked to my house, I was so nervous about what Sasha would say when she realized that I was poor. Would she laugh? Would she leave in disgust? Would she say something that would make my mom feel embarrassed for our simple life? As we walked towards our neighborhood and the houses got smaller and smaller, I kept expecting her to make a comment on how different this was to her neighborhood. But she didn't. When we stopped outside my house, she looked taken aback. "You live here?" she asked. I looked down at my feet, my face beginning to blush. At that exact moment, Sasha's phone rang, and she walked away to take the call. I knew it. She was disgusted by my house and was going to find an excuse to get back to her fancy neighborhood as quickly as possible. I should never have brought her here. What if she tells everyone where I live? She probably texted her mom as soon as we got to my street, and now her mom is coming to get her. I felt tears pricking the back of my eyes. But I didn't want Sasha to see me cry. As I started rubbing them to make them stop, she walked back towards me and said, "This is amazing." I was taken aback, thinking she was joking. "This garden is so cool. My parents would never let us have so many wildflowers. They insist that we keep it pristine and boring. I love the color of the wallpaper. This house has so much character." I looked at her in shock. Was she being serious? My mom had cooked us pasta for dinner, and I was worried what Sasha would think of it. She didn't eat much, and I knew it was because she probably thought it was plain and tasteless. We didn't even have any dessert to offer her. But then my mom suggested we play some board games together. Sasha was probably thinking how boring my family was by that point. So I said no thanks to my mom, and we went up to my room. As soon as we closed the door and sat on my bed, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I told Sasha I was going to the toilet and would be back in a minute. I went to the kitchen to talk to my mom. I don't know why, but I started yelling at my mom for being poor. I told her that it's because of her that I'm so shy at school, and that if anyone knew the truth about how poor we are, they wouldn't want to be my friend. And now I need to apologize to Sasha for the house and the pasta. My mom looked so confused, and she had tears in her eyes. At that moment, Sasha came up behind me and she shouted at me, "Don't you understand? You have a wonderful mom and family, but you don't appreciate it. You shouldn't talk like that to your mom. And Lily, I don't care how much money you have. Anyone who cares about that isn't worth your time. I've had a better time here than I ever have at my house. Because although you might think your family is poor, you're rich in so many other ways. And that is worth more than anything. I mean, your mom actually wants to hang out with you, and she is so sweet. And about the pasta, I'm actually gluten intolerant." And then she laughed, and I found myself laughing too. I asked my mom for forgiveness for what I just said, and I gave her the biggest hug. Then I turned to Sasha, hugged her too, and said, "So, how about we all play a board game or two? What did you think of this story?" Please feel free to share your comments and stories in the comments section below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.